Hello and welcome to Comcast Local Edition. I'm Robert Tranum here in Annapolis. Joining me today is District Delegate James King, who represents the District 33A here in Maryland. Welcome, Delegate.
Thanks for having me.
You know, the obvious question that I have to ask you is the budget. It is priority number one on all people's minds, particularly the President, Senate leaders, and House leaders. How is the budget at the federal level going to impact Maryland at the local level?
Sure. Well, a lot's happening right now. We have the stimulus package. It's in Washington, and hopefully there'll be some money flowing to the states from that package. Here in Maryland, we've kind of seen this coming for a couple years. We've seen the housing market decline. We've seen gas prices rise. We've seen milk, butter, eggs, and cheese all up 33% in the last couple years. So we've kind of known we've been heading for this. Certainly, I would like to see us address this issue a couple years ago, but it doesn't help to say I told you so. We're here now. We've got to fix the problems. Federally, the banking crisis, everything that's going on, that trickles down to Maryland. We're a little bit insulated because we have the federal government here. We have a lot of military people. So believe it or not, I think Maryland's in a better position than some of our surrounding states. But we've got to make some tough decisions. We've got to make some cuts. We've got to shrink the growth of state spending. We've grown it now to about a $32 billion budget from about a $26 billion budget just 8 years ago. So we've been spending a lot of money. We've been trying to help every program that we possibly can, but now it's time to trim that back, focus on our priorities, and try to get through these tough times.
But Delegate King, I think you said the magic word, priorities. What are your priorities, knowing two things? One, that the state budget has to be balanced from a constitutional standpoint, but also, two, and candidly speaking, even more importantly, knowing that every single priority is a priority. How do you prioritize?
And it's tough, and every expenditure is important to somebody on the state level. So wherever you make a cut, you're going to upset somebody. But I think we've got to get back to the fundamentals. What were taxes created for? Transportation, education, our first responders, police, fire, EMS. We've got to fund those things first. We've got to take care of those priorities. And then we expand out from there. But we've got a lot of needs in this state. We've made education a priority here in Maryland for the last 8 years, and we've done tremendous work. We want to continue that. We want to continue in the path that we've started. But transportation, we have a lot of infrastructure needs we need to address. And certainly unemployment is the big question right now. We went from 3.1% just about 8 months ago to 5.3%. So I'd like to see a focus on small business right now. 74% of Maryland residents are employed by small business. It's the engine that runs this state's economy. We've got to make sure that they can thrive so that we don't have more layoffs that we're seeing right now. So we've got to let these businesses thrive. We've got to get them back hiring people because our unemployment fund right now can't handle much more than it's taking right now. It's at its very minimum. We don't have the funds. If we go up 2 or 3 more points, we're in big trouble here in Maryland.
You mentioned small businesses. You're a small business owner. How does the state budget, as it's currently written, impact small businesses?
Well, I think a lot of the stuff you need to look at the tax code, and we need to, in my opinion, give some of these small businesses some breaks. But as far as the overall budget is concerned, where are the dollars going to be spent? There's a lot of small business. There's a lot of minority contractors that are going to get some state work if we build up our infrastructure. That's a great thing. But really, for the small businesses, I think it's about putting people to work. For every person that goes unemployed in the state of Maryland, it has a rippling effect on their families, on their children. So we got to get these employees back to work, and small business right now is our biggest employer in the state of Maryland.
Another important issue that's near and dear to your heart is safe drinking water. Tell us about the piece of legislation that you're working on.
Absolutely. I'm working on some fly ash legislation. We had some contamination of some drinking water in my district in the Crofton and Gambrels area in District 33. This stuff, you know, we have Constellation Energy, which burns a lot of coal combustion byproduct. They've got to put this stuff somewhere, and they've been putting it in the ground, which is all right if you have the proper liners in the ground and if you take the proper precautions to make sure that it doesn't get into our aquifer and drinking water. So I'm working with the Maryland Department of Environment right now to work on tightening the regulations so that this stuff is safe, it's disposed of appropriately, and we keep our homes safe right now. So along with Constellation Energy and the Maryland Department of Environment, hopefully we'll be able to put a package together where we can really ensure the safety of the drinking water in our area.
We got about 5 seconds left. Just very quickly, do you believe that the drinking water today is safe to drink?
I do. We've made some good strides. Everyone stepped up. We fixed the problem for now. But what we're working on now is preventing this from happening in the future. So as of right now, things are great, but we want to make sure this doesn't happen again, and we're in the process of doing that.
Delegate James King, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
And for more information about what Comcast is doing in your community, hit the on-demand button and then get local. As always, thanks for watching.